All right. So let's have a look at World War III, shall we?
Oh, lovely. My favorite subject.
On that topic, actually, there was a comment from one of our video clips on YouTube. I just wanted to bring up because it's an interesting point. Kingdom of Finland says, I'm not scared of Russia. They're not a threat anymore. They're not the Soviet Union. Ukraine is kicking Russia's ass on their own. Needless to say, if Russia fought NATO directly, Russia would get curb stomped by NATO. Now, not being scared of Russia is fine, but saying they're not a threat, I suppose that depends on what you mean by threat.
Yeah. The Russians aren't exactly harmless,
No,
but they aren't as much of a threat, or
they're not the threat
they're
they
not a
used to be.
worldwide threat like the Nazis. At
Yes,
least how I view it.
and yes, NATO probably would beat them. The problem is, do you want to be the NATO that's beating them? Like, why are we letting the world governments push this towards the point where NATO needs to get involved? I don't give a shit if Russia and Ukraine both disappear off the face of the earth. My problem is the Western governments who are pushing Russia towards other shitholes and are pushing Russia to the point where they might do something that would allow them to justify sending in NATO forces. And God forbid we end up like. I don't know about you, Trim, but I don't particularly feel like getting conscripted to go fight in Russia in the winter.
Oh well, I did have other plans, but if they do insist, sure. You know, we got nothing better to do than die for some pointless bullshit anyway, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Calm Down says atomics are still something. Yeah, atomics are a little bit of a fucking concern.
Yeah, that's the worst part, because mutually assured destruction is always gonna be a fucking thing.
Well, that's it. I'd rather not be part of the destruction. Uh,
Yeah,
just as long as the bombs take me out in the first strike.
well, that would be a mercy, wouldn't it?
Mm-hmm. Prime says he'll fight and die for Sweden, EU, NATO. Hell no. What the heck? Oh, no, I can't say that, but no, I will. Why would you fight for Sweden? Look what they've done to that thing, poor country.
He is a Swede, so I can't exactly fault him for it, but, you know, come on, Prime.
Not a Bobcat says same. Once again, I'm not fighting for Ukrainians' borders when they don't care about ours. Indeed. Why are they so concerned about Ukraine? I thought borders were just lines on maps, Trim.
Really? Oh my god.
If we're opening all the borders, what difference does it make if it's Russia or Ukraine in charge?
True.
Poor.
I mean, as long as a certain Deutschlander is in control, right? Mr. Schwab, I don't think he cares.
Yeah. And Ardent says conscription or maid. Fuck my life.
I know, right?
Mm-hmm. Dear. So, this article, Iran sells 1,000 plus drones and other weapons to Russia. According to Zelensky. Okay. One, I don't give a shit what Zelensky has to say because he's a lying sack of crap. But let's pretend he's right. He's telling the truth. Yes, that's just what we need. Iran and Russia getting buddy-buddy. Also, where
Yeah,
did
because
Iran
there's.
get the weapons from? Oh, yeah, the CIA.
Oh, right.
Uh,
You know, karma biting them in the ass. That's nothing new for them, eh?
I see Biden's escape plan has backfired spectacularly.
yeah.
Wow. Biden's escape plan. As if he has a fucking plan.
Biden's not in charge of America. Don't be ridiculous. So Iran has been accused by Ukraine's president of selling more than 1,000 drones and other weapons to Russia.
Of course.
Yeah. Blah, blah, blah. So he just says drones and weapons, drones and weapons, drones and weapons. That's astoundingly helpful, Zelensky. Would you like to tell us what kinds of drones? It's not terribly helpful. Prime says, what's next? Afghanistan send 200 helis to Russia? I mean, if I was Putin, buying helicopters and military equipment from Afghanistan wouldn't be the worst idea.
Yeah, it isn't exactly the most out of date weapons.
I mean, they've got top of the line American shit.
Yeah, I wonder how.
Yeah.
The real problem would be actually getting them actually transported back, because knowing the Iranians had crashed them.
Yeah. That's probably the big concern. So, meanwhile, Zelensky In private, plots bold attacks inside Russia. Yes, because it's totally just about defending Ukraine.
So he says that it's in private, but how does it come out in a fucking Washington Post article?
It's a leak. US intercepts. Oh, if the Discord leaks, in fact, allegedly, US intercepts reveal the Ukrainian leader's aggressive instincts, a marked contrast to his public facing image as the stoic statesman weathering Russia's brutal onslaught. It's almost as if he's a psychotic dictator like all the rest.
You know, this just sounds like a psyop to me.
Well, the whole fucking war's a psyop.
Well,
Oh,
true.
yeah.
But, in private, we had these leaks, he's going to attack, bold attacks inside Russia, more careful Russia. Fuck off.
Oh,
Ukraine isn't actually that much of a threat to Russia on its own. The only threat with Ukraine is pulling the rest of the world into a fucking world war. But,
yes, which
like
is
best
my
thing,
problem.
I'm not interested.
I don't give a
I
flying
kind of think a World War II is good at this point. I mean, that sounds very cynical, but Jesus.
I mean,
Keep
yeah.
me out of the fucking trenches.
No, go on to full-on nuclear war.
Yeah, fuck
Everywhere
it.
wiped out.
Just be done with it. I've
We'll
played
fight
enough
World War
Fallout.
IV with sticks and stones. I don't give a shit.
Then we'll really break some bones.
Yeah, but even if it is
Don't worry, words won't hurt me.
even if it is a psyop, Crow, though, that's still the problem because it just means that it's America
Oh,
just
God, Prime
banging.
Night.
It's just America banging on the drums of war, pushing us ever closer to World War III.
Yeah, of course. It's the empire of the USA trying to constantly warmong. But yeah, Prime Night says this war is really droning on.
Oh,
Ow.
yeah,
That fucking
Yeah.
hurt.
But-
Let us build the Sultan's compound first, so we can all hide away.
yeah.
I'm in.
So, Ukraine assassinated Russian propagandist, admits intelligence chief. The head of Ukraine's military intelligence service has admitted that his agencies have assassinated Kremlin propagandists in the 15 months since Russia invaded.
Tristan brings up a good point, actually. Ukraine's threat to Russia is if they joined NATO, then later that day, the entire Russian-Ukrainian border would be ringed with anti-aircraft missile sites projecting air superiority into Russian airspace.
Good point, yeah. It's almost as if Russia has a legitimate reason to be concerned.
It's kind of weird to think I'm going to Finland later, right next door to Russia.
Yeah.
The least threatening language for the most threatening people. Don't talk shit about hockey there. They'll shank you.
Well, if Finland wants to get in a war with Russia, they can do it too. I'm not. I've got no fucking interest in getting involved in this stupid fucking proxy war.
No.
I'm not.
Proxy war? More like a money laundering scheme at this
All,
point.
all I
that's
ask
the same
is
thing.
that the Russians. All I ask is that the Russians nuke London and get it over and done with. Clear the slate, glass the place. Fuck them. Get rid of London. It's good.
Nuking London and make it less toxic.
Yeah.
Yeah, even the fallout would be less toxic.
So not only have they assassinated a bunch of Kremlin propagandists, which, okay, fine, you're at war, but you think that's not going to help stoke the flames? The idiot also said that Kiev aimed to Kiev, fuck him, I don't care, screw your spelling. Also says that they aim to establish a demilitarized zone up to 60 miles inside Russia to deter any future attacks. Oh yeah, that's gonna fucking work. There's a couple of problems with that. One, you expect Russia to leave their entire fucking border undefended for 60 miles in. And two, 60 miles is going to stop a Russia invading you? How fast do you think a truck goes? Like, shit, if Russia...
They don't think about death, comrade.
I wonder how long this is going to last. I wonder if it'll be 20 years long, like the American war in Iran.
Anybody up for a bet? Because I'm willing to bet. $60, it's 10 years from now.
I don't think it'll be 10 years.
Well, it's already been over a year for just nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing has really happened except half of Ukraine has been taken by Russia.
Half of Ukraine has moved
Last-
to England. And
Well,
now they're
that-
whining about
yeah.
it.
Hell, I love the way all the British were like, yeah, we want all those Ukrainian women, bring them across. Wonderful.
Hmm.
God, what's so broken about England?
It's a long list, and Sadiq Khan's at the top of it.
Yeah, one of the people at the top,
Hmm.
among many others. A long line of people that should be stood against a wall, promptly shot.
Yeah. Well, I'm still in favour of hanging all the politicians from London Bridge.
Oh, well, what you do is attach nooses to one of those fairground rounds that spin, and then you just attach them. Whee! I mean, the bodies will probably go flying miles, but
That just makes it better.
Oh yeah.
So,
Take aim, fire.
like, I'm not going to criticize them, the Ukrainians necessarily for assassinating Russian targets. Like, fine, if it's war, do what you got to, but don't sit here trying to pretend that you guys are the ones that want peace.
Prime Knight says a lot of the Ukrainian refugees have left Sweden. Wonder why?
Well, we know why. The Ukrainians have said so. There's too many fucking...
There's not Swedish here.
Exactly. That was their complaint in England. Where are the English people?
Yeah. One of my clients is a Ukrainian singer, quite well known, and she thinks it's ridiculous how England is nowadays. Like, it's not recognizable as England.
No, not really, is it?
Is she suggesting that England is too diverse? Maybe.
Yes.
Is she a racist?
No. She's a realist.
No. She's quite a chill lady, actually.
She sounds like a good one.
Yeah, she's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Hey.
But this shit's ridiculous. A 60-mile demilitarized zone inside Russia. Right, you know that's never going to happen. So you're pushing for more war.
Of course they're pushing for more war. It's a proxy war. They're going to keep putting tension on as much as humanly possible.
Exactly.
To try and
Can't
fuck
keep
everything up.
distracting from the economy nosediving and the price of everything going up. Got to send more money to Ukraine.
God forbid
Yeah.
these people look at our finances and see that we're screwing them.
Yeah. We're struggling because we've got to support Ukraine. Don't.
Yeah,
Care.
totally.
I'm sure it's because of that.
Only because of that, I swear.
I'm not funneling this money into my cocaine habit. Oh,
Yeah.
Sorry.
One of the other problems that this whole mess has is it's driving Russia into the waiting arms of all the enemies of the free world. Hold on, that's been dead and gone. But here we go, new one. Russia and Cuba are at ink deals to revitalize communist-run Ireland's ailing economy. That's right, American foreign policy is fucked up so badly that they're helping Cuba.
not only that, but Cuba was on the path to going full capitalist in response to their crumbling economy. That was what was going to happen. And they fucked that up. They can't even get that right. Fucking hell. This is entirely your wheelhouse, USA. What the fuck are you doing? I may be unnecessarily angry about this.
I mean, it's not really unnecessarily angry when this fucking communist we're dealing with here.
And now all the Russians are going to have the lovely Havana cigars, and I'm not going to have any, because the Russians will boycott us. You assholes.
How dare you? How dare you? Oh, I'm laughing, but I'm just using that to mask the frustration.
Yeah, but it's just what we needed. Well, to create the fucking USSR, but this time in the fucking Pacific. Is Cuba in the Pacific? I don't know. We'll pretend it is. My geography when it comes to ocean names is fuck.
A technicality is a technicality.
All I need to know is that I'm up shit creek and the paddle's on fire.
Oh. That sounds like it's fun.
Not really. Crime Knight says Missile Crisis 2.0 Caribbean Boogaloo. But wait,
Let me guess, it gets worse.
yes, it does.
Oh.
Because
Hey.
Sleepy Joe and his handlers have endorsed F-16 training for Ukrainians as Zelensky set to attend G7 summit, along with communist, other communist, whatever the fuck that is, communist. Just call it just admit that the fucking communists are back, and this time they're British.
Actually, I got so angry that I actually have no way of emoting right now.
Hmm.
This is a new experience. Huh.
That's good.
Weird.
Dear. If you enjoyed this segment from the Sons of Chardonnay podcast, please consider joining us live exclusively on rumble.com/c/Sons of Chardonnay. A special thanks to our Subscribe Star supporters who you can currently see scrolling past on your screen.